Hey guys, Magnus here, bringing you my Treehouse of Horror ideas for 2017. So of course, Treehouse of Horror is around the corner. We will be getting the Halloween update for this year pretty soon, probably Tuesday. I imagine we'll get a teaser either later on today or tomorrow. We should get some sort of teaser. And then on actual Tuesday, we'll get the proper event. That's usually how they do these things. If not, we might be getting the teaser Tuesday and maybe the event Thursday. But I venture to guess the teaser will be probably today, later on today. So before we get into it, I just want to say, I think a thing that maybe it could revolve around is the monkey paw. Now I'm thinking about structure. Last year, probably the biggest problem with the event was the structure. In terms of content, it did pretty well. But the structure of the event wasn't great, and I think that's probably the biggest flaw. So I'm trying to think of ideas for a structure. I have they could split it off into like different genres, so they could have like a ghost act, a zombie act, and then just like a general monster act maybe. They could do a robot act. They could do a few different things. Possibly the monkey paw. So we have like Homer's desires, and then we have Bart's desires and something like that. That could be a potential, so that's why I put the monkey paw on, like different wishes. I know it's not brilliant, but I'm just trying to think of different ways. So any ideas of how to structure it would be brilliant, guys. But let's just go through. I haven't really made an actual event like my dream event. I haven't bothered doing that. I've just sort of thrown a bunch of stuff together, a bunch of stuff that I would like to see. And I know that's not the best, but hey ho. So these are some characters I would like to see. So first of all, we have the Homer robot. And I think this should be its own character. It could be a costume for Homer. I know it's Homer's brain in the robot, but I think it would be better if it was just its own character. I mean, it could be a costume, but we've got so many costumes anyway for Homer that I really want to see. I think this could just be a solo character. We have the monkey paw dealer. I know this picture isn't great, but he's the guy who sells the monkey paw. I would really like to see him as an actual character. So yeah, we have Shirak the preparer. He's another Rigelian alien. It would be cool to see a third one. The only problem is he looks exactly like Kang and Kodo, so might be some issues there, obviously, but would be really interesting to see him. The House of Evil store owner, I really definitely want to have him in the game. He looks so cool. I know he didn't do loads, but, you know, they could definitely do a lot of stuff with him. Einstein and Shakespeare as two zombies. I know that they've done the zombie thing before, and I kind of wish they left the zombie thing because they really didn't do it properly. I think they could have done it way better, but I really would like to see both Einstein and Shakespeare, and I think they should both have playable tasks, including a task that turns them into, like, you know, their actual normal self. I don't think, I mean, we could give them a costume, so like it's like the zombie's a costume, but you know, I just prefer it if they just included like tasks for them to do, like, so they become their sort of real selves, their normal selves. We have the big lard lad mascot is like I think he should just be like this giant sort of structure thing, giant monster that kind of walks around the town. Of course, when he obviously gains life. Yeah, and I think this should be an actual character with tasks and stuff, with, you know, the stuff with the donuts, you know, causing destruction to the town and stuff. I definitely think they should give him a full set of tasks. And then I've just sort of thrown him on. I throw him on every year, and that's Lionel Hutz. And the only reason I throw him on is because, of course, the whole thing where the whole trial with Devil Flanders and all that, he was there and he was the lawyer. I still think it would be really cool if he kind of led the event, and I still think it would be awesome. I know we're probably never going to get him, but hey, I'm going to throw him on there anyway. And then we have some more characters. We have the devil himself, which I think would be a cool one. Now, this one here is actually not really much more to say about the devil. I mean, he could definitely have some really interesting tasks. This one here, though, this guy is the mayor of the Tooth Town. So, of course, Lisa, when she puts the cola on her tooth or whatever, and she creates this, like, little universe. This is the mayor of that universe. I think it would be cool if he had tasks. And then right here is the version of Frink, the tooth version of Frink. Would be kind of awesome if we got him as well. So those two tooth people, I think that would be an interesting storyline they could do. They could possibly squeeze out a whole act about it, but I wouldn't be very happy with that. But yeah, the whole tooth stuff, I'll get more onto that in a minute, but yeah, those are two characters they can definitely give us. We have the Fly Bar. This is a character I've wanted for ages. Originally I said it should be a costume, but then I realised the fly head is not Bart. Like, it's just the fly's brain on Bart's body, so It would make more sense if it was an actual character. Of course, there is Bart does become a fly as well, but that would be so small. They physically could not give us that as a costume because that would be too small. But I definitely think we could get the fly Bart as an actual character with tasks. Then we have the Gypsy. The Gypsy, who of course. Well, she's been seen a couple of times. Of course, she's married to the Leprechaun as well, so that would be interesting. I think that they definitely need to throw her in again. And of course, she possibly could have the potential to be, like the leader maybe of the event. I think that could work. But anyway, moving on, we have the werewolf, just a generic werewolf that I think they could give tasks to. We have David, who of course is the robot that replaces Bart, and he causes a lot of trouble. So definitely would be an interesting one. With Dracula, Count Dracula, of course, the one of the members of the Republican Party. So I definitely want to see, because of course he's inside the Republican HQ. So I definitely want to see him. Yeah, with a full set of tasks. I don't know, the copyright issues is fine because it's expired for Dracula, so no one owns the copyrights for Count Dracula. So yeah, and then Edmund of course is this well, he's like a Twilight parody, and he's voiced by Daniel Radcliffe. So yeah, an interesting one they could definitely give us. Of course, he's voiced by a guest star though, so but I definitely would like him in the game. And then a couple more. We have these black hole aliens. They could be just NPCs, really. I don't know why I threw them in characters. They should be NPCs, but they could give the three of them tasks, I guess. But they weren't around there for that long. And then we have the Golem. The Golem of whatever it is. Of course, the thing where you put the money and he does things and he causes trouble in the town. Definitely would be an interesting character. And I think they could throw in his wife as a character as well. I think both of them would be interesting. Of course, the female Golem who Marge makes for him, so because that's all he really wanted. And then I just had a few NPCs. So this one of Jasper, I think it could be a costume, but it'd be better as an NPC. With Homer's hair, when Homer's hair becomes evil. So yeah, that could definitely be an interesting NPC. We have the skeleton judge, of course, or the judge skeleton or something they can call him. He's the judge, of course, on Homer's trial. With the donut torturer, the torturer in hell, definitely could be an interesting non-playable. Snowball 1, of course, I think they should do some sort of task, some sort of thing where they resurrect people. That could be a really interesting event, a really interesting way of doing it, where they actually bring back Snowball 1. Joe, the crusty doll repairman. I don't know, it would just be an interesting one just to throw in there, possibly. The Gremlin is a big request. A lot of people want the Gremlin. Of course, we've seen it in the town before, but they never gave us as a permanent NPC, and a lot of people want him, so I think he should definitely be added. Possibly even have tasks. I think it could be a potential. King Kong Homer, I know he's kind of in the game already, because of course he's attached to the building, but I would like to see King Kong Homer as an actual, a big-ass NPC. It would be awesome. And then just two little ones here, two little parody ones. We've got the Santa's Little Helper and Snowball 2 combined as one, and then we also have both their butts combined as one, so the two of them, two NPCs. This could be like a bundle maybe with the whole time machine thing, no, not the time machine, the teleporter thing, and they were sort of combined. It was pretty funny, and I think it would be pretty awesome to see both of those as NPCs, especially the one with just the two butts. It's just funny. Anyway, moving on. And now I've got costumes. Now I'm not a big thing about costumes, so I don't know, but anyway, let's go on to it. So we have the Jack in the Box Homer. I think this would be a cool costume, but again, I would only want one costume for Homer. But we'll do the Homer costumes first. So yeah, we have the Jack in the Box Homer. We have this one, which is him with Mr. Burns. It could be a possible one. I would probably leave it out though, because it would be way too hard to do. They'd probably have to combine both the characters or something. It probably would be too difficult. So I mean, this one it would be cool to see, but I think they'd probably leave it out. The biggest costume I do want though is the Donut Head Homer. This is one I really definitely want. Really cool. This is the one I want this year. The others are cooler. The 3D Homer, it's already in the file, so they could potentially do it. We have the Homer Blob as well, but this would make him massive. But they're the Homer costumes. Then I just sort of thrown in all these ones. I know some of these are already in the game, but there's another potential. Maybe not for permanent costumes, but maybe something that changes all the characters and makes them look like this, like Nelson will look like this, and Martin will look like this, and Milhouse, and so on, and Janie will look like that could be a potential. Got a costume for George Washington. I thought maybe this would be pretty cool because we've got George Washington in the game. Possibly a costume that makes him into a zombie. I don't know, because he was only there for a few seconds, so it might not be worth it. But it would be interesting to give such a small character that costume. We have Willy on Fire as a costume for Willy. I think this would actually kind of work pretty well. When he goes all evil and he becomes like what was it? Not the Jack the Ripper. Freddy Krueger. We have the Witch, Patty and Selma, again, would be interesting to see. We have Alien Maggie, again, definitely one I would like to see with Maggie. We have the Gopher Wiggum. It would be a pretty funny one to see. To be honest, out of all these costumes, the ones I would like the most is Donut Homer, Alien Maggie, the one with Willy on Fire, and the Gopher one. And to be honest, all the others they can leave. But yeah, I just thought throw some of those costumes in just to show you. And then buildings, we're pretty lacking on buildings, to be honest. And I think this is probably the biggest issue with Treehouse of Horror updates is buildings. I think that's probably the biggest thing for most of these events. But we have Zip Boys. Zip Boys, of course, is these guys come to life. So maybe when you tap on this building, they actually when someone's in the building, more like the mascots kind of come off. We have the Channel 6 News building. And I'm pretty sure this is a billboard next to the building, but actually, yeah, it is a billboard, isn't it? Okay, well, I don't know. Let's just say this is the HQ, Channel 6 HQ News, and the billboard's in front of it. I don't know. But when you tap it, basically, the big Kent Brockman will sort of step out of this billboard. We have a big and tall men's shop. This is building the Wiggum just sort of shoots some tall guy who he thinks is a mascot. Just a building to throw in there. We have Van Brunt and Churchill Ad Agency. Of course, this is the people who were kind of funding the mascots in a way. There's something to do with that anyway. It was only in Treehouse of Horror, so they can throw that in. This is what Flanders wishes for when he has the monkey paw. He wishes for this big house. Now, this could be a skin full of Flanders' house, but it'd be a pretty extraordinary change. So I think they can just add it as its own building. We have the Monkey Paw stand, Monkey Paw seller stand. They could just add this as a building. I know it's not really, but who cares? We have the Tooth Cathedral. This is where the tooth people come from, and I think maybe that you can build some of these little houses, possibly, I guess. But to be honest, just the building would be cool, and obviously it'd be bigger. And then we have Kang Kodos' ship. I know we've got 2 of them already, and they're crashed, but I want one that just sort of hovers in the air. That's actually not crashed. So I threw that one in there for you guys because I think that would be cool. And then we just have a few things from the Witch, one where Marge is a witch. So of course we have Moe's Tavern here, we have the church, and we have Flanders and Mod's house. These 3 things are from the whole witch thing where Marge is a witch. We have Fun World, which is an abandoned theme park. We have the Springfield Roller Disco, which is also abandoned. There's these spooky places which they go and hide. And this is the lake where the teens were murdered, so I'd just call it Murder Lake probably. It's just basically a lake with a bunch of police tape on it. And then the final building is the Springfield Finest Double Cut Sawmill, which of course was also in the Treehouse of Horror. And then we just have a few decorations. I don't know why I had that one decoration its own, but yeah, we have the King Kong, we have the Ape Island, I think it's called. This would be really, really cool, it just sits in the sea. We have the ship that they actually travel to Ape Island on. We have the crazy person ambulance that Bart goes into after the Gremlin incident. We have this limo, which is actually where Maggie got her pacifier, her really special pacifier from. So it could be interesting if they gave us this car. The Bottomless Pit, this is where Homer puts Krusty, and there's also loads of other weird things in there as well, so that would be interesting to have. We have the big grinder thing that with the teachers beating the kids with in that one skit. So yeah, big grinder thing. We have the Duff billboard with when you tap it, basically the Duff mascot man comes alive kind of thing, and maybe crushes some. Maybe there could be a person who's constantly next to it and he crushes them with the big bottle. That would be interesting animation. We have the Tooth Throne, and we have the Lisa statue, the Tooth statue. These are again more of the Tooth thing. We have the Bombshell Blowout. This is the one that Homer goes into and then notices all the freaks. And then we have the Springy, Fieldy, whatever, the sign from the witch thing. So to be honest, I think the biggest things out of all this that I think would be interesting is the monkey paw stuff. Maybe it could be Act 1 with the different wishes. The tooth stuff could possibly be Act 2, and then we could just throw in a few other things as well. And then Act 3, I think, could probably be the witch stuff with, you know, the only problem I can see with that kind of format is just what will be the character of that. So the monkey paw dealer would be for that, for the thing. For the monkey paw stuff, and of course maybe one of the wishes can be Lisa wishing for her cat to be alive, and in doing so she releases the zombies. That could be a potential structure. Maybe Bart wants to be Fly Bart, and that's how we get that. Something like that. I don't really know, to be honest. I'm just trying to think of rambling about, you know, different things, but it's really hard to have a structure, I think, and that's probably the hardest part of this whole thing. But they are my ideas, basically. They are the things I want to see. I know it's not really, I didn't structure it into a proper event. I'm sorry if that's what you guys wanted to see, but honestly, I envy the people who do this update, because it's going to be hard. And I think Christmas will be hard as well. And I think, yeah, it is hard. It's going to be hard. Like, Christmas and Halloween are probably the hardest updates to actually structure properly. And I can sort of understand if the structure is going to be bad. I've just been a bit lazy because I'm really busy, so I can't really make a proper one. But I hope you've enjoyed this anyway, guys. So thanks for watching. Please comment, subscribe, tell me your thoughts on what ideas you want to see. And yeah, I shall see you next video. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.